Taxes was feeling unwelcome. Now Taxes is an open door.
No. Okay. You should hear me now. Hi. I thought I had all the mics turned on. Jill is running a little bit late, so I just thought I'd get started since I could see you guys were in the chat. So, I got a cat. I've got an interloper here who has decided that she's just gonna lay on my desk. So, thank you, Robin. Yeah, so I sat down, came to get set up, and one of my cats, for whatever reason, said, "I'm joining the stream today," but she won't stand up, so she may be on camera soon, I don't know. So, while we're waiting for Jill, I was just talking to our dear friend Stephanie, and some of you who were quilt nerds, hung out with Mary back in the day, will maybe recognize Stephanie. The other Stephanie. um, she lives near DC. She lives not too far away from me, and she and I were just talking. She went to the Harriet Powers first day of issue dedication ceremony for the Harriet Powers stamp. And this is so cool. She sent me pictures. I'm downloading them now so I can show you. What a cool thing, right? All right, where are my downloads? Okay. Well, we'll see if these downloaded. I don't think they actually downloaded. My phone has been real weird lately. So I'm gonna keep trying to get these, but yeah. So I guess this is. She said it was at the. It's the JW Marriott on Pennsylvania Avenue. So right there in the heart of DC. It's this event put on by the Postal Service. I'm guessing, I'm not a stamp person, so I wouldn't have known about this necessarily, other than I knew that there was a Harriet Powers stamp being released. And apparently, the woman who, I guess, did the layout for the G's Bend quilt stamps is the same person who worked with the Harriet Powers stamp, or stamps. Looks like there's multiple imagery on here. It's not just just one static image, but it was so cool. So Kyra Hicks was there for sure, and Kyra is an author. She was actually the Artist James Scholar with the Quilt Alliance, the the cycle before me. There's the cat. They do the scholars program every 2 years, and so Kyra Hicks was the one before mine, and I was 2024, so she would have been 2022. She's written some really cool stuff about Harriet Powers. She's written I think it's actually 2 books, and she's done some patterning, inspired by patterning. It's not an exact pattern. So, hello, Marshall. Hey, it was so good to see you at QuiltCon. So you're not a lurker anymore. You're identifying yourself. So, yeah, so that was really neat, and she was telling me, I joked, I was like, "Oh, stamp people are so weird." And she's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Quilt people are so weird, right?" But what a cool thing. And she said, let's see, there was a special tribute by is it 3 times great-granddaughter of Harriet Powers. Her name is Dr. I think it's Elise. I don't think it's Alice. I think it's Elise. Her name is spelled Alyse. So Dr. Elise Minter, and I know I've heard her name before. So she, great-great-great-granddaughter of Harriet Powers. And then, of course, Kyra Hicks made some remarks. And then she said, so Stephanie also said that there was a poetic tribute by a woman named Lillian Green. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. She's a lawyer, poet, and teacher. And so Stephanie said that the poem was really wonderful. So I don't know if it was specifically about Harriet Powers herself, or if it was, some other kind of, poems are, I think sometimes they're symbolic. I'm also not a poet, so but what a cool thing. And I guess she said, of course, all of the stamp people were there too. um she okay, so she sent me some more pictures. And oh my gosh, yeah, okay, yep, so it looks like, oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff here that she sent. Um, so the poetic tribute is called The Powers That Be, a poetic tribute to Harriet Powers by Lillian Green. And it looks like Stephanie went around and got some signatures, got some autographs. This is the kind of stuff, I mean, we look at, these events, and, um, like a 10 years down the road, this is going to be something that, only a handful of people got to see. And, people will have, lots of quilters will have bought the stamp sheet, and I'm sure many people will actually use the stamps, because, the pride of Harriet Powers and her legacy. And, I mean, we've also got, not just the quilters that are in love with Harriet Powers and the stamp people, but also just African American history. Today is the last day of Black History Month. So I think it was probably, I'm sure they probably planned it that way to be able to have this tribute today. So what a cool thing. Now, if I can just get these to download, I will actually show you these pictures. But my phone's so pesky. So let's see. What are you guys working on today? It is, let's see. Janet has sunny 73. Janet. Robin is on her way to 70. Also, Robin. Actually, we're pretty warm today. I think, let's see, what have we got today? We're 58 right now in right outside of Baltimore. So I guess I can't give you guys the business today because we've got some decent weather too. We have our snow. A lot of our snow has melted. I don't know what north of me is dealing with. I guess so. I streamed on Thursday, my regular stream on Thursday, and I guess I kind of didn't know a whole lot about the full impact of the weather at that point. But in talking to Jill and some of our friends north, they just got slammed. I think I was lucky. Like, apparently the line between Maryland and Pennsylvania was like the storm went, oh, okay, well, we're gonna speed things up and dump more snow as soon as we cross this line. Apparently that's what happened. So oh my gosh. Okay, so Robin had a foot of snow a week ago. Yep. That is the exact same thing that we've been dealing with, and it's no wonder. I'm still got like all this sinus stuff going on. I mean, I'm not sick, but I sound horrible. So, oh, okay. So Marshall's working on a New Year's project from Stitch in Heaven. Okay. I actually, guys, what I've brought today, and depending on how quickly Jill gets here, I have gifts to wrap. A dear friend is having a baby, and I've got the baby shower gift to wrap. And I thought it's not terribly complicated. It's a bunch of books. So I thought that maybe I could that would be my craft project today. um, so I think, let's see, I know a lot of you probably tuned into my stream the other day, so QuiltCon. But I know also some of you may not have tuned into me, and you've been waiting to hear. QuiltCon was so much fun. Saw so many people, and as I look at pictures that people posted, I'm like, well, clearly I didn't get all the way around QuiltCon because there's lots of things that I missed. Let's see. Robin is multitasking, as we do. but we'll be picking up some cross stitch. And Janet says the gardener came and knocked down all the weeds. So many they don't fit in the recycle bin. Yeah, you know, those years like we would shove some stuff and compost. So yeah. Oh, and Marshall had a long drive from Raleigh to Atlanta. Okay. I didn't realize, I wasn't sure whether you drove or flew. I guess it probably makes the most sense. Just, I mean, you're skipping over pretty much like what, South Carolina. I guess Atlanta's a little bit farther down in Georgia and Raleigh's kind of at the top. So yeah, I hear ya. My drive was a little bit on the scary side. I mentioned this the other day on my stream, but you know, I made the decision. I was driving with my friend Stephanie, who has sent these pictures from the stamp ceremony. And we were like, all right, let's leave QuiltCon early. Let's do it. And so that we don't get stuck in North Carolina. And it really was just kind of rainy the whole way home until we got to, oh, we have somebody coming. Until we got to sort of like just north of Fredericksburg, so like Northern Virginia area, and it devolved from there. So I am glad that most of my snow is gone. Jill's here.
So sorry, guys. I have a therapy appointment often right before we have our stream, and I pop in like right as we're in the getting started soon screen. And right at like 1:59, where I'm like, okay, I gotta go to a thing, our therapist decides to give us news that she is leaving our company for some medical reasons. And we've known her for years now, so she went into some detail and was kind of telling us like,
And yet still you're going, I gotta go.
I know, it was one of those things where it's like,
Oh,
so I'm like
yeah.
texting Stephanie on my phone, like, I'll be there as soon as I can. Like, I even
All
kind of
good. I
said
was
to
doing
her,
my little.
yeah, I even kind of said to her, I'm like, you waited till like right now to tell us about this. So it's
That's how
also,
they do it. They wait till the end. They don't want to affect your appointment. They wait till the end. I've been there.
well, the other thing too is like we still have another appointment with her before
Mhm.
she's done. So there wasn't time to like, it was funny, like we could tell like she was getting a little upset, but because I was so like like I wasn't able to like get upset about it. But what a bum, we've been seeing her for years, like what a bummer. We really like her, but the medical stuff is pretty serious, so some of it we knew about, some of it we didn't, so we were like, oh, like you need to get that taken
Well,
care of. So
I hope she's well. And
she's lovely. So I'm pretty bummed, but so sorry, Stephanie, to like leave you
well, it's
alone.
okay. I actually had something to report on. Stephanie, our dear other Stephanie, this morning, or I guess earlier today, went to the dedication ceremony for
Oh, the new stamps.
the stamp. Yeah, it's for the Harriet Power stamp, and she sent me pictures of like all the stuff.
Oh.
So yeah, it's really cool. So so Kyra Hicks was there. She had some remarks, and I'm looking here at all the pictures she sent. Let's see. Harriet Power's great granddaughter was there. Dr. Elise Minter.
That's cool.
And then you know, the stamp people, the official postal service people. And then there was a poetic tribute by a lawyer, poet, and teacher named Lillian Green.
Mm-hmm.
And then there were some other people. Let's see. There was Carsonia Wise Whitehead, who is the president of the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. And then it looks like some more postal service people. Yeah, somebody from the Postal Service did a national anthem. I mean, it's like, this is pretty cool. This is a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was pretty neat. You know, and Stephanie and I were joking about, you know, the stamp people are so weird. And I was like, that's like the pot calling the kettle black, right? You know, like quilt people aren't weird. But it's interesting to think of. She said there was probably about 300 people there.
Wow.
And you think about the people that will come to this, obviously the postal service people, and then the stamp collectors, who does it doesn't matter what the stamp is, they will come out for these big releases, and then you have African American history, people that are there, and then you've also got the quilters, so it's pretty neat. And she said she sat beside a quilter, and yeah, so she got lots of cool swag too. Like she
Yeah,
got a
she was telling me she was gonna go to that, and she's like, "Do you want me
yeah.
to get you anything?" And I'm like, "Get me what?" Like, I can get
Well,
the stamps anywhere. I said to him, like, I think I said, like, "Do you get the stamps at, like, a special rate or something if you get them there?" And she's like, "No." I'm like, "So then what are you gonna get me?"
well,
Like, what
so apparently, and she'd asked me if I wanted anything too, but I guess apparently sometimes they will issue. Let's see what she told me. Um, so if they offer a day of issue envelope, so sometimes they'll do that. So it's just like one of the official U.S. Postal Service envelopes, and it'll have the stamp
Mhm.
already on it, and it's kind of like a special thing, in addition to the actual sheet of stamps. So, but I don't know. I think that, of course, I will buy a sheet of the stamps as well to have
I mean,
in my
I will probably buy
archives.
more than one sheet so that it's just the stamps that I use for the rest of my life because
Oh,
I probably use 3 stamps a year.
right. I
Um,
know. Same. Well, I
yeah.
want like just like we had the Star Wars stamps. We have like the unsullied sheet of Star Wars stamps. I will have an unsullied sheet of Harriet Power stamps to have in my um in my archives. And then yeah, I
In
mean,
your
it's my
archives.
archives. So, yeah. So anyway, that's what we were talking about. I was trying to get this to download, and I don't know what is going on with my phone. Um,
Story of your
Pretty
life.
much, yeah.
Um, so hi Robin. Sorry, I didn't see your thing. Has LJ graced us with her presence yet?
Yeah, so Robin's here, LJ's here, Janet is here, Marshall is here from Atlanta.
Hi, Marshall. So LJ, I was thinking about you when we were at QuiltCon. I'm assuming you've already mentioned QuiltCon, correct, Stephanie?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. So I Stephanie was off on shenanigans somewhere one morning, and I was in the booth, and um I didn't know when she was coming back, and like I was being released to go do some stuff, and I had said, I texted her and I'm like, "Hey, I need you to help me get some thread for my EPP because, we'd all kind of talked about how the thread I'd been using, which is just a Coates and Clark, it's a 30 weight, was it was too thick. That's part of the reason why you could see my stitches so much. And LJ, you had mentioned like, oh yeah, get yourself better thread. Um, so I'm like, Stephanie, I need your help. So finally, we had been able to go on the prowl. And she was just like, well, just go buy blah 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 blah. And I was like, look, thread confuses the crap out of me. Because to me, it's all the same. So I was like, I really need someone that knows what they're talking about and looking at and using to help me out here. So I'd asked another girlfriend of mine when I couldn't find Stephanie, and she was like, "Oh yeah, go over to like Superior, whatever." So we go over there, and she was like, "So you can get this or you can get this." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And then I was like, "I'll come back to get it." We went back to the booth because it was, I don't know, we had to eat lunch or I forget. But the next day, I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna go over, I'm gonna get the thing." And I go and I'm like, I'm gonna pick a variety of colors to blend. So I got, a light, a dark, and a medium. And they had like a show special that was like, if you buy 3, there's such and such, amount per. So I get to the register, and these are the 2-ply, they're 50 weight, they're the Superior Pima.
That's what
Um
I got. I got Pima too.
and so I love it. I love it so far. Um and I get to the register And keep in mind, like we were all like fancy schmancy because we had vendor tags. And I'm at the register and I'm already thinking in my brain, like, wow, this is a really good show price. That's why I bought three. It was like, if you buy three, there's such and such dollars per. And the lady's like, oh, you're wearing a vendor tag, so you get a vendor discount. And I was like, oh yeah. And like, I know a lot of places do that at shows, but I just don't ever assume. And because not all of them offered a discount, but I was like, oh yeah, she's like, yeah, and I'm thinking another 10%, something like that, 15, 40%. Like it was basically wholesale at that point. And she's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, 40%. And I was like, I was there at the time with the other Stephanie. And I was like, and she's shopping. And I walk over to my girlfriend, we get 40% off. And she was like, really? And you see her just kind of go, you kind of see her just be like, boop, 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 and like grab more things. And then I get back to the booth and I'm like, Stephanie, they have like this super duper discount. I'm even thinking like, who needs thread at home? Like, do I need to buy my friend's thread? So then she goes over and she's like, well, I really didn't need anything, but damn. Our director goes over to talk to them.
Could always use
Um,
some white thread and some a neutral.
yeah, like 40% was like ridiculous. I was even just like, man, I should buy more thread because like a neutral like this, that's all I machine piece with.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever use like colored threads, like
I
hardly
very
ever.
rarely do. I use colored threads when I'm doing a garment type, because sometimes that little punch of color is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I pretty
Yeah,
much I
I
pretty
had
much use this kind of steel gray. Ooh, steel gray as my neutral. It's a little
hmm
bit
Yeah, I got
darker,
like a
but
darker one for when I was sewing on like really dark thread, but like I had done like one thing and they're already so much smaller. Let me show you a
very
different
nice. So
with,
proud of you.
yeah, so much less noticeable. Where is, well, just an example,
So
like
LJ says Superior
this
60
one.
weight is great. Using a Gutermann 50 weight light gray currently. Yeah, I use Gutermann too.
Like, see how much more you can see that one
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
than the other one.
Yeah. The
Um,
finer you get, and that's so like the bigger the number, the finer the thread, and the finer the thread, the more it will sort of melt into, when you pull it just the right amount of tension, whether you're doing applique or whatever. Yeah,
what's
and
like the highest weight, like the thinnest thread?
well, I mean, historically, I've seen mention of like 100 weight, but I think you're getting into like
What is that?
silk,
Like a whisper?
like a human hair. I think that's like silk threads or get up that high. I have some 80 weight cotton, and you have to. Yeah, LJ says 80 weight. Yeah, I have some 80 weight. I think it's. I'm trying to remember who made. I think it's Orifil. 80 weight, and it is like you can't use a very long piece of it because just the action of pulling it through the fabric over and over will start to shred it, and all of a sudden you'll pull and you'll be like, oh, it'll just go poof and pull apart. So yeah, but silk threads, I have some 80 weight silk, and I have some I'm pretty sure is like 100 weight or whatever, because it literally is like single strands. So you know and silk is quite strong, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you
Yes,
can get away
LJ,
with.
I am happy with the results. I'm still using like this 30 weight that I have to do my basting. Um, and I also, oh, so you haven't gotten in any stories yet, right?
No.
Um, so I potentially was going to get stuck down there, for maybe
I
even a
did I
week.
did mention that much.
Yeah, because of the blizzards up here, which were supposed to be like two back to back. The second one pooped out, which is why I was able to get home. And we only had to stay down south an extra day. But because it was potentially going to be a week, and we didn't know yet where we were going to wait it out if we were going to get stuck. And when I say we, it's myself and my friend Vanessa who worked with me at New England Quilt Museum. Um, we didn't know if we were going to stay stuck in like North Carolina or if we were maybe going to try to get up a little bit and like wait it out in Pennsylvania, which was also going to get some weather. So I was like, I don't know that I brought enough to really keep me busy because like this is all I had brought with me, Um, and I was like, other than just like work, like computer work things, I was like, what are we gonna do? So I bought a kit, an EPP kit, because like one of the booths like right across from us was paper pieces,
Mm-hmm.
and I kept oogling stuff in their booth all week. I dragged Stephanie over there probably 3 times. Um,
Yeah, I
and you were
yeah.
oogling Dear Jane.
Yeah, I one day would love to have both the funds and the time to do the Dear Jane English paper piecing project.
So I last minute, like right before close, it's like 10 minutes before we close it all down. And I'm like over there going, God, I look need something last minute. And I grabbed a small short table runner project from them that could easily not be a table runner, it could be like a wall hanging. Um and was like, yes, everything you need is in here except for needles and thread. And I'm like, I have needles and thread. So I grabbed that. Luckily didn't need it. We got back we got back up so easily, in fact, that I was like, Stephanie, you guys messed up trying to sneak out early instead. You should have stayed the extra day. And then everything was because our Airbnb host was actually really cool when I asked her, like, can we extend a day? Um, Not only was she like, absolutely no problem, but her extending with her a day was a lot cheaper than moving somewhere else
Right.
for one night.
Yeah.
And our house was reasonably comfortable. But yeah, everyone else left. It was just me and Vanessa. And the house had like two different living rooms on like different floors. And her and I each picked one and sat in it all day and didn't speak. And it
Sometimes it
was
works out that way.
and it was lovely. Well, she was doing work, I was procrastinating work. It was nice.
So Janet has an interesting question. Looking at how silk fabric shreds in old quilts, would silk thread not do the same thing? So
Mm.
yeah, I don't know that I've ever seen any instances of like, oh no, the silk thread is snapping. Because I think that the weighting, so they weighted silk. They used chemicals and whatnots to make the silk heavier so that they could charge more for it. Because you know how gossamer silk is, if you know, just its natural state. So I think that that weight, that it's metal salts that are in there, and I think that all happens during like the dyeing process.
Hmm.
So I don't I don't know. That's
Well, it's those
I kind
salts.
of feel like, yeah, I feel like it's like sort of during that mordanting process, you know, when they would add um the metal salts.
Well, so if they're
So
not adding that to thread, that's not eating.
yeah.
I also feel
Although
like
I would say silk thread is actually pretty strong, and you know, they always say like, if you, as much as you can, match your thread to your fabric. So always sew fabric, you know, cotton fabric with cotton thread, and wool fabric with wool thread, and linen with linen, etc. Um, I think it is good to sew silk with silk just to match it up, but sewing silk on cotton and wool slices right through because the silk
yeah.
is like very strong.
So, but I guess the question would kind of be because the first place I'd go looking for silk threads are embroideries and
Hmm.
samplers. I wouldn't go looking at to quilts for silk thread.
Yeah, in my mind, the quilts, any quilts that would have been had silk thread would probably have been like crazy quilts, or
I don't know though. Could
possibly
silk thread have gone through those layers?
um
Because with a crazy quilt,
Yeah.
you've got a foundation layer as
Yeah.
well.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking more of kind of decorative stuff. Let's see. LJ says, Wiki says metallic salts during manufacturing cause the fabric to weaken. Yeah. Um, yeah, I keep like running this through my head. I mean, really, silk thread was not so much a thing, really. With garments, like you had silk buttonhole twist for, jackets and men's tailoring and stuff.
But again,
Um,
if there were silk threads on a garment, wouldn't it have been fancy embroidery?
mhm.
Places that are
Yeah,
getting less wear and
right.
stress.
So one thing I can say about you can harvest silk thread from your silk fabric. So if you have an even weave silk fabric like a dupioni, if you ravel the edge, you've got a silk thread. You can sew directly with that. And that's kind of a costuming thing that I picked up. Um yeah, I don't know. That's such a good question, and like, as I'm sitting here thinking about it, I really truly don't know the answer. Other than to say that I think silk threads were probably not used as frequently even when silk fabrics were used. So,
Hmm.
sorry that's a bad answer, but we'll look into it. We'll try to figure it out. Oh, so LJ ordered clover applique pins. Those are nice. Are they're
Applique
those little
pins,
skinny short ones, right?
yeah, they're the teeny. Yeah. Um, I always, no matter what with applique pins, I am always sticking myself. Like it's just a rule. Sorry.
Yeah, I've started to use a lot of um other things other than pins because I'm always catching my arms on pin
What other
stuff. So I use
things are
safety
there to
pins a
use?
lot. Safety pins.
Okay.
um Anytime I've got edges, if it's an edge that I can
Clip.
I've been using small binder clips because all my clover clips are breaking.
The plastic ones. I hear everybody complaining about that. So I never would have thought that those damn clips would have had, planned obsolescence.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Basting pieces. Yeah, if I have something that's really 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 large, like I've done some very large appliques before, and those I've used Roxanne's basting glue is really fantastic if you plan to wash it. If it's something that you don't plan to ever wash, sometimes that glue can like leak through and make a little spot. And it's water soluble, but I don't like to have to deal with that if I'm not going to wash the thing. But so either Roxanne's or that basting glue or just like giant basting stitches just to hold it down for sure.
Pardon me while I blow my nose.
Yeah, Jill's got the all the boogers that I had. Sorry to be graphic, but yeah, I was coming off of a bad cold when I left for QuiltCon, um, cur- courtesy of my husband. Let's see, Janet says I've only used silk thread and garment sewing, and the stuff I have is in your unpacking. Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, I'm sitting here thinking, um, I think I have a crazy quilt that I've been studying, and some of you guys have seen pictures of it. It was made for or by a milliner. And so I think that there's probably some more like finer fabrics and threads in there because, you know, they were using millinery supplies. So like all these silk ribbons and, bits of velvet and things. Whereas maybe you're kind of run of the mill, I'm just an ordinary gal and I want to make a crazy quilt because they're popular right now. Um, might kind of gather up things she already has, which, might be um, the weighted silks from dress fabrics. And because the silks, I think, in millinery would maybe not necessarily, because they're ribbons often. So they may not always be that weighted yardage like you would have in garment sewing. So,
I know nothing about silk thread. So I have
yeah,
nothing to
the silk
contribute.
thread I personally have is by YLI. The letters YLI is the company. Um, and it's some pretty strong stuff. It's so fine though. Like I've tried to do like some kind of like not necessarily embroidery, but kind of some like outline stitching with it on a piece I was just playing around with. And I was like, this is way too far and I need to double it up, like, quadruple it up really to make much of a thread. So, okay, let's see if I got these pictures to, ooh, I think I did. Okay.
Oh, I didn't even realize you were still working on that.
Yeah, so let me share my screen so you can see them. Um, okay, can you see them? Can you see this picture?
I can see that, yeah.
So this looks like they had this fancy US Postal Service like like covering like sheet, and they pulled it down to reveal to make this big reveal.
So fancy.
This was the so this was held at like a conference, like a ballroom or something in the Marriott on Pennsylvania Avenue. I think this is, she said, yeah, that's where they go when they have, any, I guess really any of the government entities, when they have like a bigger meeting to be had with, potentially the public, they would go here. And I think I've been to this Marriott before for some kind of event. It's very fancy because it's on Pennsylvania Avenue. But yeah, first day of issue dedication ceremony. And then this is all the ladies, and I'm not sure who is who. I think this lady here is the poet. But of the other women here, I'm not sure who's who. I'm thinking this lady, because she was pulling down the sheet, she might be the one of the postal employees, postal authorities. I'm not recognizing who some of the women are, but yeah, you could kind of see what the stamp block looks like. It looks like maybe there's 4 different varieties. And I mean, of course, all of us big nerds are well familiar with what her blocks look like.
Well, and they've even got Betts the Independent Hog, right?
Yeah, does Betts. Yep, there's Betts down there. And I can't remember the name, so it's Katie Bell, and I can't remember his name. It's assumed that those two are they're the children of, potentially the children of some enslavers, possibly not Harriet Powers enslavers, but possibly, I'm not sure, I can't remember, but they're definitely like children of plantation owners, enslavers. And she's got a whole blurb about what that particular block means. And I have always wondered, and I said it out loud at some point, and I got some confirmation that there is a suggestion that Betts, calling Betts this independent hog, really was symbolic for a freedom seeker, that it really wasn't an actual animal that ran from Georgia to Virginia, but rather it was a runaway who made it, from Georgia to Virginia, which is like about 500 miles. So this is I guess the materials that she got, the mail. Look at this. It comes with like, look, there's this whole little commemorative thing. Like, when you go to the post office and you buy stamps, they print your receipt out on this thing. That's kind of what this looks like. And it's got everybody's signatures on it. That is so cool. Oh, okay. That looks like, yeah, okay. There's okay, yeah, there's 4 of them. I was like, are there 8? No, they just have the 4 on either side. And then this is like this, the poem is in here. And this lady, so Lillian Green, I hope I'm saying her name right. And it's funny, when we think about Harriet Powers, and we think like 19th century, so long ago. She died in 1910. Like, she I mean, my great grandmother was alive then. I have my grandmother's older siblings were alive then. So, it's okay. And this is the text of the poem, which I'm not going to read it because it's not my poem, and I don't think that that would be appropriate. But um, I'm wondering if we can find this somewhere online to share. So maybe you could read it on your own. Okay. And of course, now this picture is not going to load.
There it is.
Yeah, it looks like it's a pretty lengthy poem.
Mm-hmm.
It's because I took these from my phone to okay, is it ever gonna load that last one? Okay. Yeah. And what else is there? She also, because she pre-registered for this event, like she knew she was going to be going, she also got, okay, so I think this is Lillian Green, the poet. And I don't know if, I think I didn't download the picture, but she got a pin, like a metal pin of the of one of the stamps, like because she had pre-registered. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I love some swag. Okay, so we've missed some comments. So LJ says Joe Cunningham will be hosting a fundraiser for a new thatched roof for Joe the Quilter's refurbished house in County Durham. I did not know that. I knew that Joe Cunningham had done some stuff with Joe the Quilter's. And I can't think of it might just be the is it the British Trust? The way they handle their public stuff is a little bit different there, but I also $65,000. Yeah, so it was funny when I was over there. I did get to see some thatching, some thatch situations going on. Yeah, that thatching is quite interesting. They actually the houses that maintain thatch, they'll put this it's almost like chicken wire over it to keep like birds from getting in there and small mammals getting in there.
Wow, that's kind of interesting. I gotta go chicken wire my roof.
Yeah, must have been a poor thatch job. Yeah, well, the thing is, the thing about Joe the Quilter's home, I think that when they rediscovered it, I think it was really only the footprint of the house. So I'm guessing that they have done a recreation of it. I've seen a couple of other British quilters and historians that were doing some stuff there. So yeah, that's pretty cool that Joe Cunningham, because he calls himself Joe the Quilter. I think that's pretty cool that he's involved in that.
I was confused for a minute.
Oh. So there's Joe Cunningham, our current Joe the Quilter. And then there's Joe the Quilter was it 17? It was either like the very beginning of the 19th century or very end of the 18th century. He was, and it was in Wales, I think, or right there on the border-ish, perhaps. Or northern England. I read the story. Yes, Joseph Headley was his name. But he was a quilter. He was intended to be a tailor, I believe. I think his father wanted him to be a tailor. Northumberland. So that's the north. I think that's the northern England. And yes, he was murdered one night. And it was never
I am
solved.
vaguely remembering this story now.
Yeah. It was never solved, and the theory was, he was kind of celebrated for his quilting. He was a very well-known quilter in that area, and I guess they assumed that he had money because he had sold his quilts, and I think he probably didn't. But I do know that there's and I wish I could remember where I saw it. But there is a quilt that they believe to be made by Joseph Headley. And I don't know if it was recently unearthed or if it just moved like from one institution to another or something like that, or it came back to that area. I can't remember, but I don't know. It's such an interesting story because, you think of all the quilters in the world, and even at that time in England. I mean, and over on my stream, we've read a bunch of the English history. And Mavis Fitz-Randolph was she had the whole chapter of the story of Joseph Headley in her book, in the appendix. But just for his story to have endured, I thought was kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm. Did you bring anything to work on, Stephanie?
I did, actually. I have gifts to wrap for a baby shower. Gifts I plan to get in the mail before now. A friend of ours, I mentioned, but it's a joint, a mutual friend of ours. Jill knows this person too. So, can't go to her baby shower. It's actually tomorrow. I'd intended to get the gifts in the mail, but...
What's funny is if I had been stuck in the South for a week, I could have gone.
This is true. But anyway, yeah, Oh, LJ says the cottage was open to visitors in 2018. Okay, so they've had it available longer than I thought they did. So that was pre-pandemic. So thank goodness that the baby is a girl, because I got this fabulous neon pink.
What is that for?
The gift wrap. I'm wrapping the gift.
Oh.
The gift is books. I always give books because, although to my cousins have also both had my cousins who are sisters each had a baby within months of each other. Baby number 1 was born right after my birthday, so like very end of September. Baby number 2 was just born. I want to say it was the first week of February. It might have been the last day of January, first week of February. So anyway, I gave them Walmart gift cards because you need diapers. Even if you are like a fancy mom and do diaper service or something, you will always at some point need disposable diapers. Because babies go to the bathroom a lot.
A gift card's really the way to go, because my mom told me stories about when she had me and my brother, where, people bought her tons of diapers. And then we were both born with like really sensitive skin for the first few months, and she ended up having to use cloth diapers for the first, I want to say like 4 months or something. So a bunch of diapers become kind of null and void. And
my mom did cloth diapers too for a little while, but I think, diapers today are much better. I don't think anybody has to do cloth diapers unless that's their preference, which I'm like, bless you if you have the time and money to deal with cloth diapers, because I think if you have like a diaper service, it's one thing, but yeah, my mom was like, oh my goodness. The diapers were just... Every time someone says baby, I hear the way Catherine O'Hara says baby. Yes, I know. I miss Catherine O'Hara so much. And by the way, hello.
Yeah, goodish. Are you a first-time chat?
Diaper service was not great in my humble opinion. With my son, it was Pampers and Huggies all the way. But yeah, I just remember my mom saying that, when she did the cloth diapers, I mean, you got to deal with the solids and you got to soak them and you got to do something with them until like the diaper service comes and gets them. So it's like, ew. I try to be a very ecological person. I recycle. I try to use cloth things and not disposable things. Like we don't use paper towels. Like, I mean, we use paper towels, but like not just willy-nilly. I will use a cloth dish rag or a cloth napkin before I will use a paper towel. However, diapering is nasty, and I like to just be able to like change the baby, throw the diaper out. So in any event, what I have found, especially when I had my son, and as I've seen my friends have babies over the years, people get very excited, especially if you're younger. Like my cousins are in their 20s. So if you're younger, your girlfriends all want to give you all these cutesy things. And of course, also members of your family will lose their mind and want to give you cutesy things, even if they've had a baby and no. So you end up with all this really cute, like newborn size stuff, or maybe a little bit bigger. And babies grow out of that stuff really fast. Even if you have a baby that's on the small size, or if you have, like, if you had a preemie, they still grow so fast, you know, once they got their move on. And, yeah, so I've always been of the thought process of like, tuck this gift card away, use up all the cute stuff, and then go get yourself some diapers when that baby's about 6 months old and has had a giant blowout. And you're like, can I get my money back on this baby?
Wow, what a turn. I gotta tell you, I am so glad that I really don't know anything that you're talking about.
But yes, I thought for our dear mutual friend, you know, I thought that she would probably appreciate some books, and I do. It's probably unlikely that she will watch this, so I could probably share with some of them. I do books that are kind of like not abnormal, like not the normal ones. So like the Very Hungry Caterpillar, Goodnight Moon. I mean, however many Goodnight Moon books I had that I ended up like regifting to people because, you know, people gave them to me and I'm like, I can't return it. They didn't give me a receipt. I have gift receipts. So anyway.
So did you do like the ghost quilt, the ghost with the quilt or whatever that children's book is?
No, I didn't do that one either because I knew that that was also, you know, because she's in the quilty world, she'll probably get that. I always do the books that are like our favorites, what my favorites growing up, my son's favorites, and I always throw one of my husband's favorites in there. Um, so, so you made a Hungry Caterpillar quilt for your granddaughter. Oh yeah, did you use the fabric? I know that they had like they released the Eric Carle caterpillar fabric. I saw it. I know I saw it multiple times when it was out, and I'm like,
I was gonna
when
say
am I ever gonna?
that was a while ago.
It was, but yeah,
Yeah.
I kept thinking to myself, when am I gonna make a quilt with those? It's so cute though. But anyway, so this was one of my favorite books. I had all of the Richard Scarry books when I was little.
What do
I love
people
Richard
do
Scarry.
all day?
What? Yeah. What do people do all day?
I feel like I still have that question today.
I know, right? So anyway, but that's one, and then I'll show you the rest of them. I tucked them under here so they'd be safe for my cats. Okay, so the monster at the end of the book, Grover. This was my absolute favorite one when I was little, and also my son loved it because we got him a copy of it when he was little. And then I thought this was going to, because I ordered these, I thought this was going to be a small board book. Oh my gosh, this is a board book. I've never seen one that big, but it's The Snowy Day by Ezra Jack Keats. I always loved Ezra Jack Keats illustrations. They're so fabulous. And this one's just a really sweet story. And then I always like to go whole hog on the Caladot winners, because those are usually really good. So Why Mosquitoes Buzz in People's Ears. I remember
Is
that
that
one
book supposed to make me not hate mosquitoes?
Well, they're like they're African folk tales. So they're really they're fun. And I remember we read this like in kindergarten when I was in school. This came out like in 71, I think. It's one of the early winners. And then this one I love is Oxcart Man. And it's just a story about this journey of a New Englander, and all the things that he does. They get the sap from the maple trees, and they make all these things and sell all these things, and it's just this cycle of seasons. It kind of gives me Amish vibes. So, and then the final one, which is a deep cut, I must say, but it was my husband's favorite book when he was little. It was my son's favorite, one of his favorite books, and we still have the board book of Drummer Hoff.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's a very simple. Drummer Hoff fired it off. Corporal Farrell brought the barrel. Sergeant Chowder brought the powder. So it's about firing the cannon. It's very cute. So yeah, Richard Scarry, you know, there's I see memes all the time with the Richard Scarry characters. Like there's the one with the pickle, you know, have a little nap, have a little cry, eat a pickle. Yes, Beatrix Potter. Yeah, those are good ones too. There are so many good children's books out there, you know. And I was just thinking, a friend of ours actually had just opened a children's bookstore in La Jolla. If I was in California, I would have got the books from her. But alas, not as easy to shop cross country that way when Amazon will just bring it in a day or two. And it would have been easier for our friend to, if she needs to exchange. I'm hoping that she doesn't get multiple copies of Drummer Hoff, but you never know. Oh crud, what did I just drop?
Yep, so there's a few hexies in my bunch here that I had been setting aside basting because the fabric is a little thicker and my thread was having a hard time getting through it. And the new, I didn't buy the new thread for basting technically, but this new thread basted it up like a dream. So that's
Yeah,
nice.
I usually use kind of old junky thread.
Yeah,
for
but I needed
basting.
something thinner to get through this thicker weave. Yeah. So that's nice.
I gotta tell you, wrapping paper is not what I mean, you can
No.
can you see through that? You can kind of see through it.
Oh man, wrapping paper rips so easily now. It is not what it used to be. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of surprised you're not wrapping it in fabric.
Yeah, I have done that before, wrapped in fabric.
It's a great way to get rid of fabric that you're like, I don't
is.
want this, I don't want this anymore. So it can be someone else's problem.
Well, but also this is for a baby shower. I'd have to pull out like, you know, baby prints or whatnot.
No, you really don't. Okay? Not everything about the gift has to say baby.
Well, no, of course not. But I have, you know,
Issues?
I have my peccadillos about how I give gifts.
Don't lie, that's just a fancy way to say issues.
I always, you know, I always think that a well-wrapped gift is the gift that looks very nice. You can sometimes get away with the gift itself not being great.
Do you
No,
think
I think
this is great?
this is a good gift. I think these books are a good gift, but I also believe that if you have, like, say, you can't afford to give a very nice gift, or you just, you know, your gift giving falls flat a bit. If you can get your gift wrap on, makes it look better.
I mean, all right, so if that mutual friend comes to me and is like, God, Stephanie just got me some books, I'd be like, but her gift wrap, the wrapping was pretty awesome, wasn't it? I'm like, come on, give credit where credit is due.
I also have to be honest, I do myself love to tear open a present, so while as nice as it is to wrap things in fabric, you know, because fabric's reusable, etc.
Oh, it doesn't feed that part of your dopamine.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because at heart, we are all a 5-year-old who just wants to tear the paper off the holiday or the birthday
tell you
wrapping,
what,
right?
the next time I give you a gift, I'll wrap it in fabric, but I'll also hand you a couple pieces of paper that you could just tear after
Okay,
to hear the sound.
it's a deal.
So, goodish. What's the deets here? How did you find us? You've been lurking for a while. Did we meet you at QuiltCon? Like, we like to know about where are you from? Tell us. We just showed up
Oh.
in your feed. That's exciting.
Sometimes the algorithm, it gives. Although,
Yeah.
you want to know something really funny? My husband, I want to say it was the day I came back. Now my husband has been staying with his dad right now because his dad's having some health problems. So we haven't seen much of each other. But he sends me, and it was a video from QuiltCon. And he's like, why is this in my feed? Oh, you're in Southern Maryland. Oh my goodness. Okay, goodish. I'm in Baltimore. I'm Northwest.
I'm in Massachusetts.
And when you say Southern Maryland, are you talking like St. Mary's County, St. Charles County, like the rural part? Because I know Southern Maryland also sometimes includes like Montgomery County and Prince George's County. So, St. Mary's. Okay, I feel you. I worked in St. Mary's for a while. Yeah, it's pretty down there. It's pretty far down there. You have to come back to civilization to really have anything. I mean, I believe there's a Walmart down there. There's a Popeyes on St. Leonard. Is it St. Leonard Plaza or St. Leonard? Or I can't remember. It's been a while. But yeah, it's pretty. There's not a lot down there. I worked at the Seafarers Academy in Piney Point, which is very, very much off the beaten path. So yeah, we do this. Jill and I do this little dog and pony show every other weekend or so, depending on what we've got going on.
And then we do
more fast food and more to come. Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing I think about rural communities is they get I think every rural community has that either the Dollar General, but more often the Family Dollar, and it's Family Dollar, and then you might have that collision expert, the caliper collision people, and a Food Lion possibly, and
it's like the trifecta that comes to town.
Yeah, I think every stinking rural community has got like that. Yeah, so well, we're glad you found us too. Yeah, for sure. There used to be a pretty decent teppanyaki place down there, though, I have to say. We used to go when I worked down there. The folks that I worked with, we would go sometimes, and have teppanyaki. I cannot remember the name of it. It might be the one good thing to eat down there besides Popeyes. And there is some place, and I could not tell. I mean, to this day, I can't tell anyone how to get there because I don't know. I went with a friend. It's one of those, eating on the back deck over a swamp kind of places. And, yeah, like the people there are, I don't even know if it was a legitimate restaurant or not.
You sure you weren't just like crashing someone's barbecue?
No, it was actual place to eat, but my friend William, he lived down there full time, and he's like, "Oh, I have to take you to this place." And I'm like, "Okay." And I mean, it really was out in the middle of nowhere, but down there everything's, water-based. It's the waterways. And yeah, they made a really delicious and interesting ham sandwich. I can attest to that. An hour in and Cake is talking food. And you know what, you guys? I had lunch today. Usually I don't get lunch. And so I devolve quickly into food conversion.
Well, and Robin noticed how the first thing she latched onto is Popeyes and chicken.
I was having a little craving. I have not had I take that back. I did get some fries, some McDonald's fries recently, but I haven't had fast food in so long. And my son and I were out running errands yesterday. He went with me, and we passed the Popeyes twice, and I was like, I really kind of could use some Popeyes like tenders. It's been a while, but I didn't. I didn't stop. I was good. I made dinner at home last night.
So when we're done here, I still haven't gone and picked up the puppy from being away because, I
Your
got
brother's
home
still
and I
gone?
was I was sick for a couple days. I will say though, I'm feeling so much better. Like this was a quick
See,
quick
yes.
QuiltCon plague. But I will say it
See,
also has a
the
lot to
sick
do with
part.
taking coldies like it was my job.
This is true. I think you did yourself some favors, but what I will say is the actual sick part only lasts a couple days. It's the residual that will not go away. At least
The
in my case.
residual though isn't near as bad as it has been for me in the past. And I don't know what you're doing telling me what this illness is like after you claimed that you weren't the one giving it to me.
I didn't give it to you because I had it weeks ago.
So then how do you know what I have?
I'm
I
just
think you
gonna
just
assume that
admitted
when you said boogers, you have what I have.
what there's a lot of things out there that are full of boogers.
Okay, this is true.
But you admitted to licking my doorknob. So but I will say I started taking coldies before I left Massachusetts for QuiltCon. And then while we were there, I was taking it multiple times a day. Like this girl doesn't mess around. It's so funny. In my Facebook group, someone had posted about QuiltCon and I was, they were still stuck. That's it. Someone had posted they were still stuck in Raleigh and is anyone else around still stuck in Raleigh? And I was like, hey, because they're like looking for someone to have dinner with, or just to hang with. And I was like, I'm still here. You don't want to hang with me though, because like I've got, convention plague. And another person that I know had been like, yeah, I knew that would be a super spreader event. And was just like, I'm the kind of person where I'm going to come home with plague, whether it's pre or post COVID world. So I'm like, I'm pretty darn sure this is not COVID because I've had COVID more than once. And I'm like, you get that many people in a room and like people are gross. I'm going to leave with something. So, it's just par for the course for me. Even when we go to much smaller conventions, I end up with something by the end of it, and I just accept my fate. Mask or no mask, I'm gonna get something. And that's just the way that it is. The only option would be is to not attend, and I was working, man.
Yeah, I mean, I also took some coldies, but I think it was way too late because my husband had already given me whatever this is. I mean, I'm going on like 4 weeks with this cough and cold thing now. But I really and truly haven't felt bad, except for I think one day at QuiltCon I didn't feel well, but I think it was just because we had worked hard. I didn't have anything to do
you don't feel well at least one day anytime we go to a convention.
Pretty much, yeah.
And I think it's usually the second day you don't feel good.
Yeah, it's the acclimatizing myself to excuse me, as I cough all over these gifts. Acclimatizing myself to like people because I don't spend time like face to face with people a lot. I'm online.
I have that problem just with different climates. I often
I will also say that Raleigh, North Carolina, because Virginia and North Carolina are always significantly ahead of Maryland in the spring and fall with, what's happening with the foliage. I think that my allergies and asthma were also kicked off a bit, and that didn't help.
Well, especially that second day that was hot and their HVAC didn't work.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate surprise.
Yeah, and it was pretty freaking roasty in there,
It really
especially
was.
with all those bodies. What's
Hmm.
anybody else working on?
Well,
Stephanie
I already
wrapping
asked
books.
them, and I know Robin was doing some multitasking, but was gonna jump into some cross stitching.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I can't remember LJ and Janet. I can't remember if you told us what you guys were doing. Marshall was working on a project. Yeah. And despite the fact I'm not hungry at all, I'm talking about
Oh,
food.
actually, yes, I meant so we started on this and then I got sidetracked. I meant to say that when we're done here, I've got to go pick up the pup from my brother who was watching her while I was out of town. And we're gonna get food in that area while we're there because it's a good excuse to
Hot pot?
eat some stuff we miss.
Like hot
What did
pot?
you say?
Hot pot?
Oh, not on a Saturday. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, they'd be
The
pretty
wait would
busy.
be so long. And actually I told you one of those opened up here. So,
Yeah, you guys, we are both like so enamored with Korean hot pot.
well, it's Korean barbecue. And then they just
Yeah.
happen to also have hot pot. But yes, it's Korean barbecue. And actually Goodish, the first time I ever ate this particular place, which is called Hungry Pot, was in Danbury, Connecticut. I'd seen an ad for them online on Instagram and stopped there on my way home from Pennsylvania and was like so hooked. And of course, so is my partner. But I mean, he's Asian, so he's predisposed to liking that food. I can imagine you do, because man, do we have good food up here.
Well, don't act like Baltimore and DC don't have good food. I mean,
But who wants
yeah.
to go to DC to eat the food?
No, this is true. This is true.
Luckily, Goodish, we live near Lowell, Massachusetts. So we have a massive variety of Asian food at our, aside from the fact of my in-laws living there, so we can go eat Cambodian anytime we want. But yeah, I don't know if we're like settled on this particular place, but a place we really like down close to Natick is there's a Mediterranean place there that's really good, and I find good Mediterranean places to be kind of hard to come by. There's not a lot of them. It's very easy for them to not be good. That when there's a good one, you like gotta like hold on tight.
I think I turned my volume down a little bit because the music was loud, and I just realized you're not coming through as loud.
Why did you do that to me?
Because you weren't here when the music was playing, and I turned it down.
You hung out around Holyoke a lot. My dad's side of the family grew up in Holyoke. I don't spend a lot of time out there though. There really isn't anyone out there anymore. But I was there around there when I was a kid.
So LJ said she's hand stitching. You know, hand stitching, I think, just based on, oh, Middletown. One of us may be in the Middletown vicinity at this very moment, and it's not me.
What am I?
Oh no, you're not. You're Littleton. Sorry.
I was gonna say, do you even know where Middletown is?
No, I'm sorry. I always get Middletown and Littleton mixed up. I'm sorry. My bad.
I was gonna say, well, considering that I have literally never ever said Middletown to you, not once.
No, it's just it sticks in my head as it for some reason. As
I've
Middletown,
never,
even though it's
goodish, I've
actually
never
Middletown.
had that coffee place.
Kikolo coffee.
Yeah, I've never heard of them. It's kind of wild though to hear anyone talk about Massachusetts and not talk about Dunkin' Donuts, but um
Dunkin'.
it's funny because the Dunkin' Donuts in Raleigh was so expensive because they're so few and far between down there. Um I've been drinking like homemade cold brew since I got home just to offset the $6 coffees I was drinking every day down there.
Oh, so Janet is getting paperwork together for their cruise. You guys, didn't you go on a cruise? Was it Alaska? Janet, I can't remember. You the one that did Alaska a while back. So leave Rome on the 10th. So I'm assuming 10th of March, right? That sounds like it could be very fun.
Goodish, you
But
don't have a Dunkin' Donuts where you are? They're not. I've definitely seen Dunkin' Donuts. They're far more down the south than there ever used to be.
yeah, but where Goodish is, I can tell you it is the only thing down there.
Oh,
There
you
is
got one that's awful.
St. Mary's College is down there, and then there's a naval something navy oriented down there. I don't know that it's a naval base, but it's naval oriented. So, but everything else is like again the small town, and I don't remember a Dunkin' down there when I was down there. So it must have been since I worked down there. I finished working down there in like 2007, 2008. Yeah, Patuxent Naval Base. That's what it is. Yeah. Um so
Yeah,
it's a lovely place as far as like the water. Like when you were on the water, it's really beautiful, but inland it's just like we said, rural rural nothingness.
um, I feel
But
like
yeah,
too.
Janet, I'm excited to hear about Jana's trip when she gets back. I want to know all about that. Because I feel like whenever like cruises are usually, Caribbean, Mediterranean. So is it Mediterranean based or is it like something different Italy wise? Um, that sounds like fun. But as I was getting ready to say, as I'm going off in a million directions, and LJ mentioned hand sewing. Hand sewing, I think, is having a moment. There was lots of people that I talked to at QuiltCon that were like, "Oh, I just started hand sewing," or "I want to hand sew."
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it has a lot to do with people getting into things like homesteading and gardening and that like slower pace life resurgence type stuff again. Um, because yeah, I've been hearing a lot about hand sewing, slow sewing, and I am pleased.
Well, you girl's been a slow sewing evangelist for quite some time, so. Oh, goodbye, Goodish. I'm so glad that you stopped by. I hope we'll see you again. Up here
Yeah,
on
come hang with us
Tuesdays.
again. We also do
Tuesday.
Tuesdays at 7.
Yeah, Tuesdays and every other Saturday ish. Oh, so you're cruising 3 to 4 times a year now. Okay, yeah. When my in-laws when they retired, they did a bunch of cruises. So, you're gonna be on Norwegian Cruise Lines. Okay. Yeah, I worked for Norwegian Cruise Lines for 4 years. In fact, what we were telling Goodish about, the reason why I was in St. Mary's County down that way, part of Maryland, is because I worked at a Seafarers Academy where we taught Norwegian Cruise Line employees.
Did you ever go on a cruise during that time? Like, did you get
No.
discounts?
Yes, I could have gone on a cruise. I could have gotten discounts. I did not care to.
Wow, and that was before the documentary Poop Cruise.
Well, it's not for those reasons. I get claustrophobic. Um I have a little bit of that like open water fear. And I don't know, there's just something, and not to say that there's any like there's no secrets about cruising that I know, having been employed in the industry, versus like what people already know. I mean, you know, illness is always a concern, when people are in close quarters. It's like, there's nothing that's a surprise. But I think just really knowing how the sausage is made, like, kind of turned me off a bit um, to cruises. It's just kind of like the magic,
I
like the
feel like
magic
you
isn't
have
there.
that with lots of stuff. Because you said that too after being on the seminar committee.
Well, I mean, that's the thing though. It's like when you know how things work, you know what the effort is that goes on behind them, and the frustrations and all the things. It kind of,
And you get to hear people's complaints.
yeah, yeah. It does lose a little bit of the magic for you, and just because you sort of know, and I think it's better to kind of go in blind, like, you don't know what you don't know. Go and enjoy it. But yeah, Norwegian Cruise Lines is an interesting one, and I don't know. I assume they still do what they used to do. They have at least the American cruise ship. They had 2 American cruise ships in Hawaii, and they have a thing called oh geez, now I can't think of it. It's been way too many years. It was basically like have it your way, which is Burger King. That's not really what it was, but you know how like on typical cruise ships you have like the restaurant that you go to, and your eating your meal time and all that kind of stuff. Whereas Norwegian Cruise Lines, they have a whole bunch of different kinds of restaurant and food opportunities throughout the ship, so that you can freestyle dining. Thank you, Janet. Yes, freestyle dining. So you can go eat, like, if you just have a hankering for like, I just want to sit down and eat some pizza, and I don't want to deal with like the big giant, gorge myself sick buffet in the actual dining room. You can do that. You can just go eat your pizza instead. And you don't have to necessarily worry about like all these, meeting these reservation times. And they also have it's a little bit more casual. Like I think, traditionally you kind of dress up a little bit to go to dinner, and Norwegian has the option for you just to go to kind of like casual meals and stuff. So people always enjoyed that, when I was working there. So
I
I did
I do have
go
to
on the ships. I did go on the ships. I just didn't take an actual cruise.
I do have to say I don't totally agree with you, Janet, that like illness is no different than all the people you're around at QuiltCon, because if there is an outbreak of like neurovirus, I can leave. Like I am not trapped on a ship with people at QuiltCon. Now it's definitely no different in terms of you're just going to come into contact with a lot of germs regardless.
I can tell you, however, the sanitation procedures that go on a cruise ship are far better than
Oh,
on land
sure.
at, say, a
Although
QuiltCon.
I will say the convention center we were at in Raleigh, they were on top of their bathrooms.
They were. I have to say, the Raleigh Convention Center is a really, of convention centers, I think it's a really good convention center. In the whatever the company is that runs it, it does a really good
Mhm.
job.
Yeah, I have never seen a convention center with such like not disgusting bathrooms
I
because of
know.
the amount of, and a lot of bathrooms. There
Yeah.
were so many bathrooms. And then like you guys, we ended up on like the 4th floor because there was this like hidden quilt exhibit up there that like we found out about on the last day. And I was like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom while I'm up here. It was like the nicest, deadest bathroom. And I
It
was
was
like,
really, it was big though. I mean, it had like
it was huge.
yeah, like many, many stalls. The ones down in the like the vendor area there were more of them, but they had only like
Less
maybe 4 or
stalls.
5 stalls per thing. But yeah, I have to say, I mean, women's bathrooms at big venues like that are usually a nightmare. There's always people waiting in line, especially after something has let out. I did not experience that at all at
Nope.
Raleigh, nor 2 years ago
I
in Raleigh.
experienced a line like twice, but it was only like 2 people deep. Like that's it. It was great, and they had people attending those bathrooms all day long.
Yeah, I did notice that. In fact, there was a couple times where like they were mopping and I was like, "Oh, is the bathroom closed?" And they were like, "No, you can come in and go." And I'm like, "Oh, I felt bad walking on, when somebody had just mopped." I think you and Janet, or you guys can argue all day long about that.
Yeah.
I do have to say though that iPad, you order from the little screen and get them to bring you to your table. I like that. I like that.
I mean, just Janet, just to be clear, I am not in any way trying to dissuade you from going on a cruise. But like Stephanie, I am not interested in the big open ocean cruises. I would, however, do like a Viking River cruise.
I've heard good things about those. I've heard
Mhm,
the ones that are up like in Scandinavia that do the fjords. And then I
mhm.
know there's one that does
There's
like
tons of them. There's one that does like the Mississippi now or
oh
something.
yeah, yeah, I do. There are definitely ones in the US, but there's one when I was in the Czech Republic like a million years ago, the Brno is right there.
Mhm.
And there was some kind of thing going on there with like a river cruise. I thought was pretty neat. Um
Yeah, they do one that's like Grand European Tour and you go down the Rhine.
mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
there's a lot of different ones. One of the reasons too that I would be more likely to do one of those is one because like, there's the edge of the water visible at most times. Um, but I want to see all that architecture,
Yes, I
and
do have to say a river cruise if you're at a place where you're close to um a place that has like good architecture. Like I was on a little dinner cruise when I was in England, which it was my least favorite part of the trip because the food was ugh. I
oh
mean,
yeah,
ooh.
I remember you complaining about that.
Um yes, it was I don't think I actually ate any of it except the dessert. And even that was
That
nothing to
is
write home
so on
about.
brand for you.
No, I mean I usually so like I might I might not like the entree part, like the meat or whatever the entree is. Um, but I could eat like the vegetables. I will gladly eat salad or vegetables. I think I did eat some of the salad, but yeah. I mean, no offense to the English, but they really can ruin some very plain food. Like just put a little salt in there, y'all. It'll make it so much better. um
Wow, never thought I'd live to see the day when Americans would be harping on someone else for lack of seasoning.
but in any event, it was cool before the sun went down because we could see, the boat was, passing under the, London Bridge and stuff. So, that was pretty wild. And now when I see aerial views of the Thames, I,
Mhm.
I have like a better spatial orientation now since I have been there. I don't know if anybody else experiences that. Like if you've been to a place, it just and you see pictures of it or you see especially those aerial views like sometimes are disorienting, but if you've been there you have that like that frame of reference. So I just get a little excited now when I see those. Like I've been there, I've done that. So if I may digress into food for one moment, I was gonna do a taste test here. Because I had my lunch. I was good. I was like, I'm gonna have lunch because I have time. Usually I don't have time. I'm usually rushing. So I had a Tito Sammy for lunch. And my son and I yesterday, as like I said, we went out. We had to run in. I had to run inside of Walmart to get a gift card for my cousin. And of course, I had to peruse the Easter candy. I mean, 'tis the season. And I did have to grab some Cadbury cream eggs because you can only get them this time of year.
I've
The
never had
Cadbury
one.
the Cadbury bunny does not lay them unless it's Lent. Are you serious? You've never had a Cadbury cream egg?
Nope, I've had the small ones with the hard shell, but I've never had a Cadbury cream.
Because those aren't cream eggs though, aren't they? The Cadbury with
No,
the hard shell is just a solid chocolate, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, no. The cream egg has got the literally like cream inside, and then as you slurp it out, there's yellow in the middle, like it's yolk colored.
Yeah, and when I was younger, I never ate it because it freaked me out.
Okay, well, in any event, and I want to say there's some Janet's had 3 already. I had 1 last night. And then they do make the smaller, there were smaller ones at one point. I don't know if they still make those. But there were ones, and now I'm blanking on it when they made them. Maybe it was something they came out with at Halloween or something, but they were like radioactive, like green in the middle. Like they had like green cream in the middle. It was a long time ago. Anyway, so while I'm perusing the candy, I found this.
What is that?
It is Lindt carrot cake, and it says irresistibly smooth white chocolate truffles. Now, I don't love white chocolate because white
I don't
chocolate is
either, but I
basically,
like carrot cake.
yes, white chocolate is cocoa butter and wax. Like it's not chocolate. However, I love carrot cake, and carrot cake often is paired with walnuts. If you are a lover of carrot cake, you probably know this, but Lindt has no nuts associated with this particular chocolate. I carefully read it several times. It has carrot powder in it, so we're gonna find out. I also have to say the Walmart bakery makes a pretty decent carrot cake that doesn't have nuts in it, and it has the cream cheese frosting.
And it's
So,
moist, because as I say, the thing that ruins a carrot cake is that it's dry.
oh, it is very moist. It's basically spice cake. It's spice cake. They grate some carrots in it, and they put cream cheese frosting on it. All right. The white chocolate orb. Oh, wow. That fell apart in a way that it usually doesn't. Usually I could get it in half. I made a mess of this, but the center is also white. I didn't expect that. What?
I can't take you anywhere. You're not spitting it out.
Mm, mm,
It grows on
it,
you.
mm. It's got a carrot cake flavor. It does have that like super sweet though. Like the coating is that super sweet white chocolate. Hmm.
Yeah, Robin, those sound yummy.
Oh yes, Starburst jelly beans. Yum.
Now you're putting me in the hankering to go in the other room and get some Butterfingers.
I have to say, Easter candy is second only to Halloween candy. And my
Why
mom
do we
told
create
me,
so many scenarios in the year to eat candy?
well, because people like me, or people like me are. Yes, I will come up with any reason to. Arbor Day, bring on the tree candy. I think she should be able to freely buy maple candy on Arbor Day.
I like maple candy, but like it's so rich, it'll take me like a year just to eat like one small candy.
Did you have any of the maple candy when we were in Portland?
I don't think so.
So in our goodie bag, our swag bag, there was
Mine's still probably in my swag.
there were pieces of I think we got maybe 2 or 3 little pieces of it was hard candy. It was maple hard candy.
Oh.
So like I guess they had boiled it down, probably I guess you probably have to introduce sugar, maybe some sugar to get, because I know with hard candy, like what is that, like the hard crack stage, you have to boil it too so that it'll set up. Anyway, they were very good. But my favorite thing are those soft maple candies. That's just maple sugar.
That's just maple
Um,
sugar and shame.
yeah. And they're never cheap. No matter where you buy them, they're never cheap. And I could just sit, I remember as a kid, um, like, I know going on vacations, we would stop at places like Stuckey's, or places like that. Cracker Barrel today is probably the closest thing, that they have the little gift shop and the candy, all the candy and stuff. And my mom would indulge me with like one little box of it. And it would be like 4 maple sugar leaves. And I could just eat them each in one bite.
Oh man, that's what I mean. Like that thing, it'd take me like 17 bites to eat it because it's so rich.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
I have some bacon candy.
I forgot about the bacon candy
Yeah,
until,
I
yeah.
I I bought it and brought it just so that you wouldn't feel left out of the bacon jam grilled cheese that Vanessa saw God while eating. I mean, it's that good.
Well, I guess I would give these a 3 out of 5, maybe. A 2.75 out of 5. The middle is good. I don't like the outer shell. It's just too white chocolatey.
It's too shelly.
Too white chocolatey. But yeah, I think they did a good job with the inner part. It does taste like carrot cake.
All right, well, now I need some Butterfingers. I'll be right back.
I've had one candy and now she needs Butterfingers. Oh my goodness. Okay, Janet. I need to know about this supplier of maple sugar, maple syrup and candy. Because I love it. I do have a name of the place in Maine where we got the little sample candies. I don't know what I did with it. I thought I had it here on my desk, but in any event, yeah, I don't know. There's just something, it's funny. My grandmother, who I was very close to, she hated maple, and for some reason, the maple flavoring, she was just like, ugh, she didn't like it. So like, she would always put Caro syrup on pancakes. So like light brown Caro syrup is what I grew up with. Of course my mom bought, log cabin syrup. So I was well aware of maple flavoring, but yeah. Jill tried to offer me Butterfingers while I was there.
I just was like, everybody brought Butterfingers. Jeez.
All of the candy there would have killed me, sent me to the hospital. So I'm glad I brought my own treats.
Well, I mean, it is a good thing you foiled everybody's plans. Like there was supposed to be a murder in that house.
I suspect that the person you rented the house from would not have liked that. Would not have liked to have to deal with my corpse.
I also don't associate Butterfingers with peanuts because to me it just tastes like fake buttery stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When it says like on here crispity crunchity peanut buttery, I'm like, are there really peanuts in here? There
There
might
are.
be like the thought of peanuts.
No, I
But
can assure you there are peanuts in there. I've had them before. I've had the reaction. Butterfingers are pretty tasty. But if I'm going to risk my life, it's on a Reese's peanut butter cup. Once a year, I'll eat one. I ate one back in January, I think. It was actually a Reese's Heart. I bought my husband a bag of Reese's Hearts, and I ate one. It was delicious. I took some allergy medicine. as my tongue and my lips were swelling. I was like, oh, so good.
I saw an article recently that they're close to curing peanut allergy.
Really? If I
My
could
dad
have
would
my,
be thrilled because he developed a peanut allergy later in life. And
yeah,
he
I mean,
used
my,
to, every night after dinner, when I was a kid, he used to eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
my kid lived off of peanut butter and jelly when he was little. I mean, we could not get him to eat anything else, and I'm like, okay, peanut butter is really not the most healthy thing, but it's not the worst. At least it's some protein. If you buy the natural stuff without a bunch of sugar in it, it's really not a bad thing for you to eat. But um yeah, well, and you know what, LJ, that's the thing. So Benadryl, of course, saves me every time if I have an accidental exposure, but it also knocks you out for
Benadryl does that to
six,
you?
6 to 18 hours. Yeah,
Oh
Benadryl, like, just
man.
bam,
I
I'm
would
out.
need to take like 4 of those.
You're one of those people. Your your audio disappeared for a minute. I got no audio from you. What's up with that? Hold on a sec.
What did you
Oh,
hit?
there we go. Yeah, I don't know.
I just got a notice that my internet is unstable.
Ah, maybe that's it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I would say Benadryl. I mean, God bless the makers of Benadryl. It really is. It'll save you if you have, like, not life threatening allergies. I mean, life threatening obviously, but if you've got like the kind of allergies that are like hives and itchy and swelling and stuff, Benadryl will save you. But it's like, being knocked out for 6 to 18 hours just for enjoying some candy. So that's why it's a once a year thing.
Sounds like a really good sleep though.
Yeah. Well, actually, what's in Benadryl, I think is it Tylenol PM? Is essentially Benadryl with some Tylenol.
It's dextra
Yeah.
dextra hydro something like that.
Whatever.
But yeah, it's the same, or like you can just buy it as a sleep aid.
hmm But that's essential. That's all it is Benadryl. But I do have to say that if they could cure peanut allergies, oh my gosh. My peanut allergies are, so when they'll use the category peanuts and tree nuts, and I'm allergic to some tree nuts, not all tree nuts. I am allergic to peanuts and some legumes. So over on that side, lima beans. Um, there's something in yellow mustard. Now, not spicy brown or Dijon, but yellow mustard. So I don't know what that is.
Hmm.
But I don't know if it's sulfites or what, but
There
I'd
you
often
go.
wondered was it like
LJ
mustard seed or something.
diphenhydramine.
Diphenhydramine. Oh yes. The little tiny pink pills. Hmm. Mustard might be the wheat vinegar. The thing is, like, vinegar, like all vinegars, I don't have issues with vinegars per se. Now, wine, white wines and the sulfites in white wine are a problem for me. So I guess it's the sulfites. Sulfites are preservatives, right? Typically in food, I think.
All you're doing is just telling everybody how to kill you.
The thing is, when I'm close enough to people, I know what they know. So, really, you want to pour me a drink, do you? You've made me a special dessert, huh?
Yeah, I have.
Used to make, yeah, I do know Dijon, like homemade Dijon is made with white wine, yeah. So they now use vinegar so you can't eat it. Gotcha. Hmm. All of the ways in which they take shortcuts with food, etc., etc. Um, one that I've frequently run into problems with is pesto. Now,
Because
like
of
I
the
guess
pine
the
nuts in it.
proper way to make pesto is with pine nuts, and pine nuts are not nuts; they are seeds. Seeds are not a problem.
But when they take
Um,
the shortcut to do it with walnuts,
yeah. Hmm. Yep.
I
And
often just make pesto just without nuts at all, just because it
mhm.
can be so
Oh
expensive.
yeah, just a little extra Parmesan in there. It is all the same.
Well,
um,
remember in my garden last summer where I just had like endless amounts of basil, and I'm just like, what am I gonna do with all of this
you make
basil?
pesto. That's what you
Yeah,
do with
because
it. You make pesto.
you need a truckload of basil to make a pint of pesto. So
Yeah.
I just put in extra garlic.
Hmm. Yeah. No, I enjoy pesto very much, and I don't I don't think it really needs to have needs to have the nuts in it or the pine nuts, but pine nuts are expensive,
Well,
so
didn't you say you could have pistachios?
hmm
I have had someone make it once with
yes,
pistachios, and it
I
was
have a
quite
friend.
tasty.
Yep, I have a friend who's made it. She makes when she'll do the big batches. She doesn't do pine nuts at all. She'll make a batch with nothing, so no nuts at all. A batch with walnuts and a batch with pistachio. And she buys like the raw shelled pistachios and grinds them up.
Can you do cashews?
Hmm.
I've also had it with cashews, and it was pretty good.
I've never had it with cashews, but I have had other things that used cashews instead of say peanuts. I
You
mean
know,
they're
you
not
met
exactly a one for one, but they're
no,
close.
you met my friend Lydia,
Hmm.
and I don't know if you heard her say over dinner that she was vegan at one point.
Hmm.
And it was funny because I was when we met, she was not vegan, and then her and her husband had decided to go vegan. I think they were vegan for about a year or two, and then realized they need meat. Um, so I'd gone to her house during that time period, and she was like, "Are you gonna be okay?" And I'm like, "I will totally try if you like cook vegan food. I will totally try it. I'm not going to make it. Like, I'm not gonna cook vegan, but like if you want, I'll try it." The
Hmm.
worst thing is I need to go out and get a burger. So she made vegan stuffed shells, and what she made, the cheese,
The cashew
the
cheese.
ricotta, yeah, it was with
Mm.
cashews and what's that? That it's a yellow it comes in a shaker.
Like with brewer's yeast.
Nutritional yeast.
Ah, nutritional yeast. Okay.
Yeah, it was made with like cashews and that and spices, whatever. It was so freaking delicious. I ate the crap out of those things. Like her and her
Yeah.
husband, I think they each had like 3 shells, and I'm sure we had like salad or something on the side, whatever. And I probably ate like the whole rest of the tray. So good.
Yeah, I mean, I think good vegan cooking is, I mean, it's different than, say, a meat-centered dish. I mean, there are, stuffed shells. That's something that could go vegetarian, vegan, or regular carnivore. There's some dishes that, I don't know. I mean, when you try to just do a full-blown, like, um, substitution of the vegan cooking principles, it sometimes doesn't turn out very well.
Oh yeah, like you're never gonna convince me that vegan mac and cheese is better. Never, ever, ever, ever. It
Yeah,
might be good, but it's not gonna be better.
yeah, the vegan cheeses when it's something that's like supposed to be a slice of cheese or like that creamy melted creaminess. I think it's difficult to achieve. But I can say, vegan baked goods can be so good.
Hmm.
And it's like, okay, this is where veganism is unhealthy. Like they can make good baked goods out of it. Out of all of the different I guess the substitutions for, eggs and honey and
Hmm.
things like that.
Hmm.
Um,
Nope, I've had some good vegan baked goods.
yeah.
Again, I'm not probably going to go because like to make the stuffed shells, she had to like soak the cashews overnight
Yeah,
and like
that's what
there's
I was about to say. It can be expensive and it can be very if you're
laborious.
not using some off the shelf product, if you're going to make it from, make the things from scratch, which is really the right way to do it because off the shelf then you've got preservatives and whatever. If you make it on your own, then you can get the taste the way you want it. But it's very like intensive amount of effort, I think. Um, Mad
But
respect
yeah,
for people that can maintain the lifestyle. It's
I would absolutely like get on board with those stuffed shells, man. I also had another girlfriend of mine years ago make a vegetarian lasagna. Oh, it was Sunday and I still talk about it. Like,
yeah, I've had some good vegetarian lasagna. You know, I have friends that are great vegetarian cooks. And I for a while there, and I mean I think we're still kind of adhering to it, although, you know, our schedule has been so messed up with my husband, you know, so being down with his dad a lot, you know, since before the holidays, but we usually eat like 2 or 3 meals a week that are meat free. And sometimes they're a healthy version. And sometimes it's just like macaroni and cheese. Like um but yeah, we you know, my mother-in-law often cooked vegetarian or meat light. Like she would sometimes do a small amount of meat, but you know, make the vast majority of the table like salad and non-meat things. So I've never had a problem with you know, vegetarian eating, but it is a bit of a struggle to go full vegan. And there are just some aspects I'm like, I understand if you are pursuing veganism for animal welfare, but in that case, you can't use things like dairy, butter, honey. And I'm sorry, but those are just dairy, butter, honey. Those are things that are very important to my core as a human being. So I think the bees are okay with lending their honey.
I feel that way about cheese.
Cheese is a staple, man. I don't drink milk. I never have
Not
milk
a
in my house.
Yeah, I'm not a big milk drinker.
I'm not a huge ice cream eater. You know, I mean, in the summer, you know, ice cream's always on sale, and we have Turkey Hill down here, which is Pennsylvania, very good ice cream. But yeah, I don't do a lot of dairy, but cheese is the exception. Um, I think cheese is an important part of my diet. um, you know, I don't have a lot of desire to go to France. However, I could go there if I could just, you know, eat the French lifestyle. The like that girl dinner, small amounts, but it's delicious things like croissants and cheese and pastry and
I had girl dinner yesterday, but it was girl lunch and it was two hard-boiled eggs that I had to make right then and there. um a piece of a grilled piece of well, toasted piece of sesame bread, like an Italian bread with sesame seeds on it. I put a thin layer of like just regular cream cheese on the bread. And then on top of that, I put thin apple slices.
Mhm.
Um, I put green olives with the pimentos sliced in half on top of that, and then pickled red onion. And then on
Okay.
the side, I had the rest of the half of the apple I cut up, and green olives, large green olives stuffed with blue cheese. And that was my lunch.
I do enjoy all of the charcuterie-ishness of that, but I don't know that I would want olives stacked on top of my apple slices.
It was
I
delicious.
mean, I realize that if I'm going to eat, I will eat all that stuff together, and it'll all end up in the same, but
I
in the
was
same bite.
surprised. I was surprised. It was a bit of an experiment. That's the good thing about girl dinners. You can really like experiment. It's just
You
you.
stack the things up, and you're like, "What is this going to taste?" Mm.
It was really good. And I was looking for a way to use these. I bought like store-bought pickled red onions because for years I'm like, how come you can't buy pickled red onions in the store? And all of a sudden now you can. And I tried this one brand and I forget the first capacity I was trying them in. I didn't care for them a lot, but I was like, I'll keep it in case I can find another way to use it up. And that's what I was trying this out on to see like, will it taste good with this? And it did. I guess so far just making my own pickled red onions is better. But
Yeah, I've only made my own. I've never bought them. Janice says her daughter went vegan for about 6 months, gained weight, and was grouchy. Well, that's the thing. That is the thing. It is hard to eat vegan in a way that is like, um, just fits in with your lifestyle if you're a busy person. I mean, even if you're, going to school or if you're, have a job, like it, there's only so much time and you have to do all this kind of food prep type stuff. So, if you're eating things that are just out there that happen to be vegan, that's when you can kind of get yourself in trouble, I think. But yeah, I think vegans tend to, without being very careful about their diet, they tend to suffer from different types of nutritional deficiencies just because, we are meant to be omnivores, biologically, I suppose. And, that's just our bodies are meant to get nutrients from a variety of sources, including animal sources. So,
Well,
but yeah, back to this peanut allergy. If that happens in my lifetime, I will be the first person to
oh,
get
it
whatever
should.
it is. Okay,
I
whatever it
think they're
is
in.
it
I
gene
think they're
editing?
in. I
Is it
think
a
they're
shot?
in. I think they're in human clinical trials soon.
Okay. I'm wondering what it is, because I mean, I'm thinking like,
I
is
think
it
it's. I think it's a series of shots.
okay? So some type of serums. Okay. I would even go for gene editing if I could eat Reese's peanut butter cups without worrying about going to the hospital.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll
it was.
be in your lifetime.
Yeah, as being the only person in my family who was allergic to peanuts and coming from a family that grew peanuts, my grandfather's father grew peanuts for the government subsidy, and I guess it was during the Depression. Um, my mom was telling me about it. I don't know all of the economic details, but I do know that they, in the area of Virginia where my grandfather grew up, it's in the Tidewater the Tidewater area, like around Virginia Beach and Norfolk and that area, but it's in Smithfield, which is a major pork production area. Um, they had pork, um, and peanuts, and then the other side of my family was cotton and tobacco. So yeah, all the good cash crops.
So, what's for dinner for y'all?
I am not sure. Enterprise, Alabama smells like peanut butter. I guess they have some type of peanut,
Are they like
um
Skippy or something down there?
some type of peanut factory or something.
Because I was gonna say, like, when I was a kid, Wonder Bread was in Natick. They had a factory here where our mall is. It was next to the mall at the time. Now it's just a part of the mall. But the town used to smell like baked goods.
Yeah, I mean the smell of roasting peanuts is very enchanting. It's very it smells
You
good.
just kind of like walked into the waft and just like blow up.
Well, see that's the thing, like my allergy to peanuts is probably not life threatening, and I say probably because what my allergist told me, I've actually had two allergists tell me this. You never know when it's going to go from like rash and hives to anaphylactic shock. And if your body has that, has that histamine response, you never know when your body's just going to go like, oh, let's shut everything down. This is bad. So he's always like, don't don't eat things you're allergic to just for fun. Like, there are going to be times when you might accidentally eat something if you're not being vigilant. So, multiple allergists had told me that. And I continue to play with fire because like I said, once a year, I got to have a Reese's peanut butter cup of some sort. But I do have allergies to I have worse allergies to other nuts. So like hazelnuts literally put me in the hospital. But the idea that like peanuts can be in the air.
So I guess you don't ever go to a Texas Roadhouse, huh?
I have eaten at a Texas Roadhouse plenty of times. You know, I really feel like, you know, now I've heard some horrible stories. I've heard stories of like person ate peanut butter sandwich, kissed their significant other on the lips, and then that person had an anaphylactic shock and died. I'm not saying these things can't happen, but I would say generally speaking, what is in the air is not massive particulates of peanut. And sitting next to somebody who opens up a bag of peanuts on an airline, unless they're like, you know, coughing peanut shards at you, like I really have a hard time believing that that is truly dangerous to anybody. And now with schools, you know, I mean, when I was a kid, it was just don't eat anybody else's food. Don't eat dessert, Stephanie. You don't know what's in it. It might be peanut. So that's how I lived as a child. But children are messy and they get stuff on their fingers and they touch everything. So I see it like, you know, children as being, you know, in schools as being more of a challenge. But I think sometimes people get a little bit overblown and precious about the allergies. So Gilroy, California, you get the wonderful smell of garlic, but you also get the nasty smell of canning tomatoes. So is Gilroy, is that like toward the north or like, because I knew the canneries were kind of toward the north there, right? But I do know, like, is Gilroy the place that has the garlic festival?
Sounds like it's likely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. The smell of garlic is garlic frying in like butter or olive oil. Oh, that is the
I have a
most
feeling that
delicious
has
smell in the
far
world.
more to do with your love of butter.
No, but garlic, yes, a little garlic, and they're so good. Yeah, you know, LJ, I mean, that's the thing. I guess it's, I can sit here on my high horse and go like, oh, you and your silly peanut allergies aren't, mine's not that bad. I mean, every person's different. And I realize it is unfair of me to sit here and say like, you know, this person who will not fly on an airplane because they have peanuts, you know, is going overboard. Like, I don't know. But I really do feel like there is this like hovering with children, and you of course you don't want your kids to be sick, or but if they have an allergy, it's like you teach them from a young age to understand their allergy. And um like I said, I was told don't share lunch with anybody, and if they bring cupcakes, don't eat them. You know, I don't know, I guess some children are not maybe not as trustworthy to manage their own health. Okay, so Gilroy is 30 miles south of San Jose. Okay, yeah, that's what I was kind of imagining.
When I was in first
Excuse
grade,
me.
I don't remember why, but our teacher, Miss Hurley, we were doing something that like the lesson plan like concluded with us making soup in the classroom from scratch.
Okay.
I don't know why. So she was making like chicken vegetable soup in like a crock pot in class. And we had a friend of mine was in the class. Her name was Baytar. And her parents were super hippies. And she was a vegetarian. And I can still remember the interaction where my teacher was like, "Oh my goodness, Baytar, I just remembered you can't eat this." And then she was like, "Well, wait, you can have the broth." And then she's like, "No, wait, you can't have the broth." And then so Baytar got a cup of vegetables, like raw vegetables, and she was happy as a clam.
Oh my
Stone
goodness.
soup. That would have gone along with the book, right?
Yeah, we did stone soup when I was little.
But that's
I
not
remember
chicken
that.
noodle, right?
No, stone soup was like everything. Like it was just a bring everything.
Yeah, no, this was like a chicken vegetable soup.
So Robin's son has peanut allergies. I know several people that have very severe reactions to anything peanut related. Yeah, I agree. I mean, my reaction to hazelnuts is to such a degree, but like I am not afraid to sit next to somebody who's easy eating hazelnuts. Now, the possibility of cross contamination is a concern. For instance, they love the hazelnuts in Europe. So if you go to a European breakfast bar, say at the Sheridan in Prague, you should stay away from the granola if you have nut allergies because it is all cross contaminated. The granola has hazelnuts in it in the first place, I think. They call them filberts in the first place. And also they just have a bin of you could scoop hazelnuts up and eat them on your with your food. So you stay away from that because that's a lot of cross contamination going on. But to sit next to somebody eating it, again, unless they're like eating with their mouth open and huffing crumbs on me onto my food, which I am then consuming, I don't know. I guess it's probably boils down to sour grapes because nobody took care of me as a child other than saying, don't eat dessert, Stephanie. It might have nuts. Whereas today children get like, put in a bubble if they have a peanut allergy and, you know what, Janet, I remember that shooting at the Garlic Festival. Was that during COVID or before COVID? I can't. I do remember hearing about it, and I remember thinking like, oh, for crying out loud, they gotta shoot people up at the Garlic Festival? Like, come on. Who doesn't love a Garlic Festival? You go to that, it smells good, you have garlic things, Like, I mean, I guess if you don't like garlic, it's a different story, but roasted garlic? Garlicky food? I mean, who's not to love, who wouldn't love that? Oh, so it was after
Yeah.
COVID. Yeah, so it really has
Apparently
been
that
then just a
one person.
personal
It was a personal
revenge.
revenge.
Ooh.
I just remembered too that it's the last day of February and we have a calendar.
Oh, yes.
Let me get to it.
It's not that interesting because we're here the whole month.
It is a very
It's not very colorful, which I guess we're probably
yeah.
happy for, right?
Well, I mean, it's not very colorful on our streaming side, but that doesn't mean we're not busy doing other things. Because I was gonna
We
say
are
like
quite busy doing other things.
when I was trying to like schedule in the stitching glitch, I was like, damn, we kind of can only do one of them unless it becomes a last minute thing. Because of Winter Virtual Seminar.
Mm-hmm.
So normally like running along you can see this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody can see this. Running along the
Okay, now I'm seeing us on
yeah, I know.
YouTube.
I was
Okay.
hold on. I don't know
Okay.
where I went. I'm doing weird. Where am I going? Okay. So, yeah, normally like if we follow just kind of a general thing, our next one would be the 14th. But that is Winter Virtual Seminar Day. And
We will
I
both be a
can't,
little busy.
yeah, I can't do one the weekend of the 28th and 29th there. And yeah, the 7th is next Saturday.
And I will
But
not be around next Saturday, so
But the flip side is that there are 5 Tuesdays, and all because we finished our book and we don't start our next one till April, all the Tuesdays this month are freebie nights. And we have lots of stuff that we can be going through. There's exhibits from QuiltCon, there's exhibits at NEQM, there's stuff that has been waiting in the wings for quite some time. Like, yeah, there's all kinds. Like, I realized that we still haven't done a stream from the vendor hall at Portland Seminar.
mm-hmm.
So there's still
Yeah.
stuff.
Just in case anybody's interested, I put the link to the Winter Virtual Seminar, AQSG Winter Virtual Seminar in the chat. Yeah, Jill's wearing the t-shirt. Yay!
Designed by Stephanie.
And I'm just wearing my ordinary AQSG shirt.
Yesterday on a call for the next seminar, which is in Lincoln, Nebraska, and is we're partnering with the IQM. On that call, we show up and our AQSG executive director is like, "Look, I'm wearing my IQM shirt," and I was like, "Oh," I was like, so I was wearing an AQSG shirt, and I was like, "Okay, well, don't worry, Carrie, I'm representing your job, even if you're not."
Well, truth be told, we all have the shirts. I have an IQM shirt as well. You gotta have all the quilt shirts if you make your way around.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, you guys, the t-shirts at QuiltCon. Oh my goodness. They were there. I saw some that were so funny, so ridiculous. Speaking of, I think Kyra Hicks today might be the last day to do her shirts. I never got back over there. The Garlic Festival. Well, it sounds good. They've brought it back. I'm sure it was a big thing for that area. I'm sure lots of people come for it. The next in-person quilt study? What do you mean, Janet? In-person quilt study? Seminar is oh yeah, seminar. Yeah, it's it is August. It's the last week of August. Yeah.
In Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yeah, it's at the IQM at the International Quilt Museum. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited about it because like we've sort of been backstage at IQM a number of times, but this time we'll kind of really get to see a lot of stuff. I think, I hope. I'm not on the seminar committee, and I'm sure Jill has to keep it like under wraps until it's truly like out there. But yeah, August. Let me look at the dates for you.
Are you gonna try to come, Janet?
Lincoln's not that far from. It is it the 26th through the 30th?
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, so it's the last full week and then into that like Sunday. So yeah, August 26th, 27th through the 30th. We usually do have a thing on Wednesdays, but I'm not sure because this one is it's going to be set up differently. Like for instance in Portland, Wednesday is like a field trip day where we're going, you have the opportunity to go off and visit like historical like the historical society or a museum, but everything is going to be there at the museum, correct?
No, there's some field trips.
There's a little bit of okay. I wasn't sure if like that kind of stuff was happening.
I don't know that it'll happen on Wednesday.
Gotcha.
There might not be field trips on Wednesday this year. But I was kind of like, if there's not, I'm gonna be really sad because I like Wednesday field trips. So I had also kind of said like, if there isn't, then I might just put something together myself, like a quilt study day at Carrie's apartment in that community space.
Oh yeah, that really nice community space.
Yeah, because I was like, I want to. It's like tailgating. Like I want to do something on Wednesday. Oh, you poor thing.
So wait a minute, is a cruise to Alaska and Hawaii? Or are we talking about two separate cruises? Because if you're doing like Hawaii and Alaska together, like that's wild.
I feel like those things are really far away from each other.
Well, I would assume that there would be like maybe fire and
Fire
ice.
and
Okay.
ice. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
so if I
interesting.
remember, and I've seen those advertised before, if I remember, like it's like you go to one and then you have like a port and then you fly to like something separate, a different port, right? And then, oh, 5 days at sea in the Pacific. Okay, so you don't fly to ports. You are literally going
Oh my
chugga
God,
chugga chugga
five
chugga from
5 days at
Hawaii to
sea.
Alaska.
That's too much for me. Bless your heart, dear. Send pictures. Like, I hope you have a
Yeah.
fantastic time. I am not someone you want to go on that trip with because I will not be any fun. Like,
Get me
yeah,
off of
I
this.
I won't be fun. But
Well, but
I
but
hope
five
you have fun.
days. But I mean, think about this. Like our modern times here, 5 days to get across the Pacific is probably pretty amazing.
Sure.
When you think about the ship captains of yore who would be gone for like a year because it took them like I don't know months to get across the Pacific. So our modern ships are
Yes, but I don't
able to move
have any
quickly.
concept of time when it took a long time. So 5 days for me is a year. Like
I can
if
tell
I'm
you though,
stuck in the ocean.
in the cruise ships that do any kind of long jaunt, um, they have many things to keep you busy. They have all kinds of stuff.
It is not about being bored. It is not about that at all. Because any person here that has experienced anxiety knows there is no entertaining yourself out of it.
Well, we will expect to hear great things when you come back, Janet. And you've already done Alaska, haven't you? Did you do Alaska this past year, or was that somebody else? Um, I
I
remember
feel
my
like
in-laws.
I feel like everyone I know has done Alaska in the last
Yeah, my
year.
in-laws did Alaska, and it was amazing the pictures they had and stuff. I mean, of course, you get to see the Northern Lights and all kinds of cool stuff.
Pub crawls.
Papa room crawl, scavenger hunts, white. Oh my gosh, it sounds like fun. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing. I mean, that's the way to do it, to be involved in a bunch of different events. And I don't know if you're going with people you know. Um, but yeah, that kind of stuff definitely makes the time go fast when you're sort of in between ports of call and stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm just not in the travel, I'm just not in a travel mood these days. So you fly into Honolulu and then fly home from Vancouver. Okay, that makes sense. Um, and is that Norwegian Cruise Lines? Are they still doing the Hawaii thing? I don't. I know they did Hawaii and Alaska at one time, but yeah, that's very cool. That is very interesting. Okay, yeah, NCL Spirit. I think the last Norwegian Cruise Line ship I was on was the NCL Aloha, and that was specifically the Hawaiian ship. And I have to tell you, the $10,000 a day stateroom is beautiful. It had a white piano, a white baby grand piano, and like gorgeous like Dale Chihuly chandeliers, and it was something else. We got in trouble for going up there.
I feel like at $10,000 a day though, why would you want to be on a cruise ship? Just rent a yacht. Like
Well, I mean, a yacht is not necessarily going to go the same kind of places that a big cruise ship will. So,
I suppose.
and I do think that the people who get to inhabit that like insanely expensive stateroom are people that like the CEO of SCL. It's not just the ordinary people like us. So, in any event, yeah, I just having seen like the crew part of it, like I said, the magic's gone for me, but um I do think it is wonderful if like that's your fun.
Janet,
Um
do you ever do any of the quilting cruises?
who was doing a quilting cruise recently? Was it Fat Quarter Shop did one?
Oh, I mean,
No.
Stitch in Heaven does a lot of them now. Um,
Oh, speaking of, I think Stitch in Heaven was what Marshall was working on, a Stitch in Heaven project. If he's still here.
yeah, I hear about Stitch in Heaven cruises a lot now. They seem to kind of be the
Karen
big
Brown. Okay.
the big leaders in the cruise ships now. I just blew my nose and now I can't hear out of this ear.
Sorry. Maybe the Fat Quarter Shop was something different. Um, I don't know. I tend to not pay attention when like big names are doing that kind of stuff because one, I it's generally not in my budget to go do any of the trips and stuff. Um, and then I'm just generally not, the cruise is not, don't interest me. So I don't usually pay attention. Um, but I do know I've seen something. You know what? Actually, um, true crime true crime cruises have been a thing too. Upgraded to a suite and hobnobbed with the CEOs. Oh, yeah. That's the way. That's how the other people live, right? It's
Yeah,
like
where
finding yourself in
were they
first
like,
class.
you muggles got up in
Yeah,
here with us.
finding yourself in first class, and you're like, oh.
You did a Top
Uh,
Chef cruise? Is that a cruise where like you're doing a bunch of cooking? Like taking cooking
or you've
classes and
got
stuff?
like lots of like tasting events. We all know that cake loves a little bit of food here and there. So okay, Stitch in Heaven is doing one. I when you think about it from like a it kind of makes sense for events like, if they have some type of space where like that could be used as say like a sewing room or a classroom. And I mean, you are kind of captive. So it is a good time to be able to entertain people and have them work on projects and things like that. So, and you kind of have like this sort of floating city at your disposal as well. So you've
Mhm.
got food on site and you've got, I mean, they have little stores and things where you can, like, if you need something, you can get it. So
Mm.
it's kind of yeah, I think it's kind of a smart little business, to do these kind of specialty cruises.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know who's got it best on a cruise besides the people that are the passengers is the entertainment. Those MFers. They had to go through the safety training, but they didn't have to go through any of the training that was like the really hardcore stuff. They
Mhm.
basically like, if the Titanic happens, the entertainers probably get saved along with the passengers because they don't get, you know, like the hardcore lifeboat training. They have so few responsibilities other than their responsibilities as an entertainer. I'm like,
Mhm.
but they are getting paid by the cruise line. So I'm just like, oh, those people, they've got the best of both worlds. They've got
Mhm.
like that insider, like, I work for the company, but also they don't get treated like employees. It is a
Hmm.
good deal
So,
for
do they
people.
actually get like halfway decent rooms or do they sleep in the sardine can rooms?
Oh, they sleep in the sardine cans. So, I mean, that is probably the one bad thing, um, but they can do some really kind of long stints. And I know people. I actually have a girlfriend who now she did private yachts. She was a yachty, but that whole idea of like give up your house, give up your car, and you're just like clearing the money. You
Mhm.
have, people that do like kind of do that lifestyle. They can either, amass a bunch of savings very quickly, if they don't have, car to pay the car payment and rent or mortgage payment or whatever. So yeah.
Hmm.
4 chefs, cooking classes, lunches, too many martinis with so many basil. Oh, that's funny. I haven't done a quilting one, just haven't fit it into the schedule. Yeah, I do know. Now this is pre-COVID. I was actually supposed to be going to Norway And at the same time, a friend of my mom's, who at the time owned a quilt shop, she was doing a cruise, and she was trying to get me to sign up for it. And I'm like, but I'm booked to go to Norway. And then I had to cancel that trip anyway. So it never worked out. But she's one that I probably, if I had the time and the money, I would have gone on a cruise with her, because she was a lot of fun. And she would have come up with some insanity. She always did like really fun, crazy stuff at her shop. So yeah.
Well, y'all, on that note, I am hungry and I've got to go. I got to go pick up a puppy.
Oh, yeah, you haven't seen your puppy in like
Over a week.
Yeah. It was, what was the last Tuesday before we went?
Well, I dropped her off on Sunday the 15th. So it's been like 2 weeks.
That's a very long time to be without pup. So give her a little squeeze for us.
Yeah, I need some pup, and I need some yummy foods in my life. Since we've talked about a bunch of foods.
Well, I mean, I got us started early at an hour in, so you're welcome.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
All right, guys. Well, let's see. Today is Saturday, so I'll see you on Monday. If you follow me, we're back regular schedule on Tuesday, which I'm
And
pretty sure
who
it's gonna
knows
be.
what we're gonna look at?
I think it's probably going to be something QuiltCon-y, don't you think?
I don't know. We've got all
Who
kinds
knows?
of stuff to choose from. It'll be fun though. I'm excited to have a breathing space. And then also, if you haven't gotten our next book yet, there's a link in the description for our affiliate. And
Look at it.
we're gonna
It's a beefy book. It's a very beefy book.
We'll start in the beginning of April.
I'm very excited about this.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope Sandra comes to seminar so I can get her to sign my book.
Is there any reason why she wouldn't?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know if she's doing, I mean, she's obviously coming to Winter Virtual to to talk about it, but I don't know like what her plans are as far as summertime, so
Gotcha.
yeah, safe travels, Janet. We will miss you while you're gone, but of course we expect a full report when you get back of all the wonderful things you saw and did, and we will live vicariously. All right, guys, have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you soon. Mwah!